Hello, everybody. It's Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. I made I made a hot one as far as the video goes. And I don't know if I'm going to post it because it's just, is it worth it? I was actually talking about some of the things happening on the skateboard industry with competition and the trans skateboarding stuff that's happening. I'm going to sit on it for a little bit. In the meantime, I want to bring up this. I think it's interesting food for thought. For some reason, in the comic book industry, there are two realities. One is that there are many people that want to be successful, and in part of their endeavors to be successful, they're going to try and network, make friends, and hope that that helps their own personal career. Right. So that's one thing that is true. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But the second rule that always happens is it is inevitable that there are going to be people in comics that, whether it be jealousy, whether it be they want to lump you into some kind of rite of passage, or whatever it is, for whatever reason, they want to limit who you can talk to, how, where you can go, why, all of this nonsense. And it can be for political reasons, but I think it's honestly beyond that. It's probably even more petty than that. And I can't really describe it, but let's do a case study here. So I'm not going to get into the specifics because I think it's less important than what is being said here. So editor at Marvel puts out a tweet blanket statement saying that, hey, there's a female friend I have who is talking to the wrong people and is a bad person, and I'm very disappointed, very publicly. Now, if someone slighted you in the past and it pains you to see that individual, a friend hanging out with that individual, I'm sorry, that happens. I mean, it happens constantly, all the time, especially in the comic book industry. And for me personally, I've learned to shrug that off. I can't control what other people do. I only control what I do. But anyway, so let's get into this. This is the response, and this is the only thing I'm going to say here is Rainey, who I don't really know Rainey, but I know that she used to work at Marvel, I think, Big Two company. I don't even know what she's a comic artist. That's as much as I know. She's got Fiendish, that's currently her project. I think that just ended on Indiegogo. Anyway, this is where it starts. So let's hear Rainey's thoughts here. Let's be clear about one thing. If you weren't there to support me while I was in the trenches for years trying to get my dream project off the ground, then you have no right to tell me what to do or who I promote my book with. I'm going to stop you there for a moment, and I'm going to add on to this. Even if a Marvel editor, whoever it was in the trenches with you, helping you every step of the way, they still have no claim on your career path. These are decisions that only you can make for yourself. These are what decisions that adults make for themselves. You can decide your own fate. That is the beauty of being a human being and being an individual. You get to make those decisions. And I strongly suggest that you take advantage of every opportunity you can to make your own choices. Because for some reason, the comic book industry, especially in I'm so glad I don't work for Marvel or DC, never have, never will, because I enjoy a level of freedom that they just don't for some reason. I'm not sure why it is the way that it is. It just is. So continuing on here, if you consider someone a friend, then you wouldn't be silent for years, only to message them with veiled threats just as their dream project is coming true. When you respect someone, you don't try to ruin them over simply speaking to people you don't like. Yeah, well, I mean, first off, if they're not really your friend, I guess it doesn't matter what they say. So that's one point. Again, the other one though too is you have to make your decision. It's not going to make anyone else happy. I guarantee you, the one thing I've learned in comics is that everybody has an opinion on everything. Any given video I make, everyone's got opinions on it, which is kind of the fun part. It's the beauty of it, but it just is. It is what it is. And so you have to take responsibility for yourself and just make your own decisions. I'm going to continue on here. Supporting minorities, in air quotes, women and immigrants, my foot I'm all for those things, but there's only one type of person who's trying to tell me what I can or can't do. Let's take a step back and look at who the real closed-minded bullies are, shall we? Yeah, I mean, again, it, it it's probably not one person. That's the thing. It's not one person. I don't know why it is, but people want to be in charge of you. Make your own decisions. All right, move on here. Next one. I don't have to agree politically with all my friends. I know progressives, liberals, and conservatives. I have no problem with anybody as long as they are civil. But if someone wants to cut me off just because I'm against a toxic atmosphere of conformity, then good riddance. Wow. A toxic atmosphere of conformity. This is to me what independent comics are supposed to be about. You don't have to conform. There are no standards that you have to follow. You can do literally whatever you want. And people are going to buy your books or not buy your books based on decisions you make, clearly. But that's how it's going to work. But all the same, you make your own decisions. Nobody gets to tell you what to do. The other thing too, I don't know why it is that in the comic book industry, I think elsewhere as well, that it's evolved to this point where you can't talk to anybody that unless they agree with you lockstep. They have to agree with every single opinion you've ever had. They'll look up your history to make sure that it lines up. You have to agree, and it becomes a hive mind. Don't do it. Don't do it. You should be actively talking to whoever you want to. And it's weird because I've talked to, I mean, anybody. I'll talk to lots of people, and like if you want to talk about differences in political opinion, that's cool. But yeah, be civil. Absolutely. In conclusion, Rainey writes, nobody tells me what to do. Nobody controls me. I'm going to go where I see the positivity and the passion for comics that I never found while in the mainstream, and where people don't try to force my obedience and submission. I'm going to where I am free. I'll add to that. Pure freedom is making your own decisions. 100%. That is freedom. Obviously, there are consequences to taking your freedom and not going along with whatever anybody else tells you in the industry to do. There are going to be consequences for that, but it's beautiful. It is sweetness. It's so much better. You make your own decisions. You do what you want to do, you can sleep at night. It feels great. So great. This is why I love having a day job. I have a day job. I can make comics however I want to. That is pure freedom. I'm not relying on anyone. No one is relying on me other than, anybody I'm paying for a particular page. Obviously, I'm relying on them. But there's a business contract there that's different than the weird comics editor relationship where editors want to edit your very existence. It's so strange. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't backed Clint Stoker's Dracula, please do. Fantastic cover art by Kelsey Shannon, Eric Canetti, interior art by Donald DeLay. That is chef's kiss. It's just beautiful. Really, really proud of this story, and I think that you all are going to dig it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's almost like a Twilight Zone kind of modern day take on Dracula. I guarantee you it's not anything you've read before. So do check it out. It was so much fun to write, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. And they're $25 hardcover copies. You can't beat that. Help us get to 15K. That's the next stretch goal. And everyone that does is going to get just those first 300 backers. We're getting close. 300 backers are going to get a special trading card that you cannot get anywhere else. So do back it as soon as possible. I'll see you in the next video.